Well, I'm Daniel Garcia, and I am representing Duke City Repertory Theater as a board member and also a company friend. And with me, we have Isabel Hudson, who is a teacher, a music teacher, a gifted music teacher, and you'll be bringing your students to this production.
Yes.
When you heard about Julius Caesar coming to Espanola, what was your initial reactions to that?
Very excited, you know, something new, and of course this is the 400th anniversary of Shakespeare's death, and I know Santa Fe is doing a lot with Shakespeare. The opera is doing a Romeo and Juliet, and I thought this is a great segue for my students.
To jump into that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
wonderful.
always encouraging them to go to the opera, and I thought this is a good stepping stone. And
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard of the Duke City Repertory Theater, but never been to a performance, and I thought it would be great for my students to get a little culture. And
right, yeah, exactly, which we're really excited as the company to present this to the students. It's a part of our education series, so it's designed for younger audiences.
Right.
So it's an adaptation of Shakespeare. So the directors come in and adjusted a few things. The language is still very Shakespearean because that's what makes Shakespeare Shakespeare.
Yeah.
At the same time, what's nice is that it's traveling to different schools throughout Albuquerque. And Espanola was one of the few places outside of Albuquerque to receive this production.
Oh, wow, that makes it
really
very
nice.
special.
Yeah, exactly. And it's nice that it's being able to produce as a gift towards the schools. So it's not costing the schools anything other than transportation, which is a small little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Having an understanding of Julius Caesar, do you feel that this story is appropriate for younger students?
Well, when I read the information on the flyer, it said grades 6 through 12, so I'm sure they've made it appropriate. And you know, I teach in the public schools, and I asked my students if they have been studying any Shakespeare.
Right.
And because of the new Common Core, and they're not getting a lot.
Really?
Yeah, so I thought, well, I'm going to help it out.
Right, exactly. And it's good to hear that Duke City Repertory Theater is sort of part of the conversations with the opera and other entities putting Shakespeare on. It's still very vital. I love the fact in our political climate we're going to have a murder strategy, which I think is funny. Sort of find the sides of these stories that can be, you know, taken to the nth degree as far as theater, and how teach different lessons within it, and not to be afraid of it. I think that's one of the things that I love about plays on Shakespeare, because when you read it, reading it is a different experience than seeing it done. So I think allowing the students to come in and not having it be like presented to them like, oh, you must learn this, but as an enjoyable evening or during the day.
And maybe this will inspire them to read it, you know?
That's true.
Yeah. And I do teach grades 6 through 12. So I could have brought my 6th graders or my middle schoolers, but I thought this time it would be high school.
Right.
Yeah, and if they come back, you know, I'll take the younger ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have any examples of taking students to something that you weren't sure how they were going to accept it, and any surprising reactions to situations like that?
Every year the Santa Fe Opera does a spring tour, and every year it's different. So last year and the year before they did a modern operetta that was, you know, contemporary, and that was very well received. When they did a Mozart, a very early Mozart piece. I think he wrote it when he was 12. And I thought, well, maybe they won't, you know, relate to that so well. But they really loved it. And I think, I don't know, I think students these days, they're just eager to get anything that's different.
Right.
And you know, they can go to a movie any day and listen to music on the radio any day, but live performance is very special. So no, I've not been disappointed with their reactions.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And as far as presenting opera and Shakespeare in the smaller communities that we have, do you feel that it's still vital for these students to get this education or this exposure to it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So do I.
Yeah, they're not getting enough of that in school. So.
Right, exactly. And it's nice for these different programs to come through and provide those extra things. The benefits that students get from live theater, whether it be opera, straight plays, Shakespeare, improv. And we talked about Duke City Repertory Theater and the words that they choose to develop these students, these young students. I sort of just want to engage in conversation with you and how you feel about this. They like to describe the students, urging them on to explore bravery, to explore problem solving, to explore creative thinking, and having, being a music teacher, part of the performing arts is what you do. So any insights as a teacher to how you see this come about in your students?
Well, I think, you know, with any of the fine arts, they have to think outside the box and get inside themselves to create. And we do have a drama club at the school. The drama teacher retired, but she does come and does 2 plays a year, and every other year she and I do a musical. But it's wonderful just to see how the students can turn into something different. You know, it's internal and it's who they are, but at the same time, it's allowing them to be something else that they're not normally going to do.
And I think it informs life choices. I think it helps to, what Duke City Repertory Theater, what we like to say, it helps them to become the best versions of themselves by challenging them and able to do something that's not necessarily within their norm. Like how you're saying, it's something, it's challenging them to think outside the box. And also promotes this idea of empathy. How would someone else react to if I just jumped up here and started screaming? How would people react to that? And sort of thinking on that level. I think for me, I have a passion for live theater as well. And I can say that my theater degree has been very useful in many, many ways. And a lot of it is just daily interactions. You know, being able to stand up and look someone in the eye and being able to have conversations. This is what I love about theater education with students, is having them being able to stand up tall and be able to feel that what they have to say is worth being heard.
We don't hear them often enough, and creativity is not happening in the schools anymore. You know, I really feel that, and I think that this sort of thing and the fine arts is, you know, many times what gets students to come to school.
It did for me.
We need more of it.
Which is why I'm happy that Duke City decided to bring this production up to the college. It's a opportunity for education to breed further education, which I think is wonderful. And being able to share it with everyone, with the students who are coming from all over the city, from Poake, from McCurdy, from, I believe, Espanola High School.
Good. So you've got a good
turnout.
Turnout. Excellent.
So it's going to be exciting.
Will there be a question and answer session?
I believe so. I do know that there is going to be workshops available to community people.
Great.
Espanola Main Street Theater and Moving Arts, which are both theater education after-school programs for the students here in Espanola, are working together. And so these 3 entities are coming together to sort of share knowledge, which is part of the plan of everyone coming together. I love the performing arts because it's collaborative. Even a one-person show takes lighting designers and directors and costumers, and it's never a one-person show. And
There's
so
something for everyone.
Exactly, exactly. And I think seeing live theater, people get to see that. Like for every one person's on stage, there's good 10 behind the scenes. So that's evidence within this classroom right here, which is a lot of fun.
Yes.
So wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today in this conversation on the fine arts and live theater. And
I'm excited and looking forward to the performance.
Perfect.